to this video. I kind of figured while I'm folding my laundry from the week, my massage laundry from the week, that I would talk to you guys and just give you a little insight into my life as a massage therapist. For those who are new here, I am a massage therapist for both people and horses. And horse-wise, I would say I don't have an unbelievable amount of extra prep time when it comes to products that I need to worry about in prepping and getting ready and cleaning up from the week. But the human side of things, I definitely have a lot. One of those being laundry that never seems to end. And it's Saturday today, so your typical work week is Monday through Friday for most people. You know, sometimes you work a Saturday job, Sunday job, or weekend job, and you've got time off throughout the week, and that's not necessarily the case for me. So it's a Saturday. I did over 30 hours of massaging this week. I still have a massage to give tomorrow, and here I am on my one day off for the entire week, folding laundry. So it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but here I am, because who else is going to do it? And I haven't had time to do laundry all week. I've been getting home late. I've been leaving early, getting home late. So if I want to prep a healthy meal for the day, if I want to work out or go on a walk or do anything with my own horses, I just don't have time to sit and fold laundry. So it tends to be a weekend thing for me, unless I run out of sheets in the middle of the week, but that doesn't happen often. So that's my Saturday right now, is I'm folding all of my sheets from the week after I cleaned them all. And I think for a lot of people, when you tell them as a massage therapist, oh, I only gave 20 hours this week, or I gave 30 hours, you get some people that are like, oh my gosh, that's a crazy amount of massages. And then you get other people that look at you and you're like, that's all you worked, and you're tired, and you can't, how do you say that? I worked 40 hours a week, blah, 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 all that stuff. Well, for one thing, as a massage therapist, you have to be fully committed to what you're doing. It's not a break time for you to listen to a podcast or to listen to music or watch something on Netflix in the background of whatever you're doing. When you're with your client, typical length of time, with them is over an hour, really. Someone will book a 60-minute massage, but there's that time where you talk to them when they come in and you're figuring out what's going on with them that day, and you kind of figure out your treatment plan. And then you have that time where they're getting prepped and they're getting on the massage table while you wash your hands or try to write some notes up quickly in between. But then when you're in there for an hour working on your client, maybe longer, maybe a little less, depending where you're at and what you're doing. But I'm totally messing up this sheet right now, and I totally made a whole video on it for you guys. Anyway, okay. So then you're in there with an hour. Well, you're in there with them for an hour. You have to be mentally and emotionally and physically present into what's going on. And it's draining. Well, truthfully, it's draining. It's one thing I like about what I do is I get to bounce from different facilities, and I go to different barns and homes and all that kind of stuff. And that's one of the reasons I haven't stopped doing that kind of stuff, is because it keeps my sanity. But anyway, so that's the baseline, right? Give so many massages, you have to be totally present and physically apart, mentally and emotionally apart of every single session you're with, which is a little bit harder than sitting at a desk. Not to say that my job is harder than anybody else's necessarily, but mentally, emotionally, and physically, you have to be fully committed. And then, when I'm counting the fact that I do 20 to 30 hours a week, it doesn't include the 15-minute gap between clients when you're at a clinic. It doesn't, for one client to get off or one client to get on, it doesn't include the time it takes me to get to a client's house to set up or tear down the massage setting. It doesn't include the time before or after when they're doing paperwork and I'm just sitting there waiting. It doesn't include the time I spend driving in between clients, whether it's 15 minutes between them, 20, 30 minutes between their homes. It doesn't include the time I spend doing paperwork before and after. It doesn't include any of the office hours I spend to track all of the expenses of being a massage therapist. And so once it really breaks down, I'm doing 40 plus hours a week worth of work. which is, 40 is the average. That's what most people are doing. So once you really break it down, I'm probably doing more than that. And that's fine. I love what I do. And then there's this whole other side in the massage world where, I'd say the average in my area for a massage is 70 for an hour for people, for a person to get a massage. And people are like, oh, you're making $70 an hour. You're doing great. Well, there's a whole financial side of things that people don't see. One, typically as your own business owner, there's some expenses in that. But also, you're really not making $70 an hour once you break it down with all the extra hours that you have to put in and the in-between clients and all that kind of stuff. But you also have to get into consideration of driving. When I'm going into a home, driving and the gas it takes for me to get there. You have to think about the product cost, laundry detergent, dryer sheets, fabric softeners. You got to think about buying the sheets, purchasing new sheets when some get worn out. You got to think about the products that you use, oils, creams, whatever it is. A lot of times there's room rent. So even if you're at a place and maybe you're not on straight room rent, there's a couple places that I go that I'm not on a straight room rent, but I'm on more of a commission type fee. And so even though they may charge $70 an hour to see me, I don't make all of that. That goes towards the commission fee, which basically equates to a room rent. And so by the end of the day, you're bringing home a lot less. It doesn't include any of the things you pay for, like digitally wise, whether someone's using MassageBook. It doesn't include the fact that my phone is used more so for contacting clients than anything else. It doesn't include paper, the cost of paper to print, my documentations or intake forms. It doesn't include the paper, or maybe if you're not using paper but you're using an online system for paperwork, typically in order to have like fillable files and stuff like that, that's all subscription payments and things like that you have to pay for out of your business. So there's just a lot more to being a massage therapist that people don't see, the behind the scenes. I spend a lot of hours behind the scenes getting things together, a lot of phone calls, scheduling clients. There's a lot of messaging back and forth, which you don't realize how much time it takes up when you have clients reaching out, asking you questions. And then there's even that time, I book a 60-minute massage with a client. Honestly, I go to a lot of homes and I end up doing more than 60 minutes, even though that's what they pay for, just because I really want to work on something. But then they get off the table and I'm giving them stretches and I'm giving them exercises, and that's even more time that it takes from me or from other clients or whatever it is. That's more time that I'm spending with someone that's not being accounted for. And that's fine. I absolutely love what I do, but that's just what I'm trying to express to people is kind of what life is like as a massage therapist. It's more than what you see in your 60-minute session with your therapist. There's so much more to it. And I didn't even touch on the fact that if I'm wanting to do any sort of advertising, if I'm trying to run a social media page, whether it's Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, any of these kind of things take time to get the videos recorded, get them edited, or just post. If they're just posts in general, it takes time to write those things up and get photography done and things like that. And I can set up a camera at sessions depending on the sessions, or maybe I have to stage a little session. That way I can help educate on my pages and things like that. But it takes time to go through those photos or the videos and edit them, figure out what you want to say. It takes time to post them all. I live in the middle of nowhere, so my service is always awful. It takes forever to post anything. It takes time to put together, I use Canva a lot for a lot of my little blurb pictures. If you go, whether they're the title pages on a YouTube, or maybe if you go to Instagram and there's a quote or something educational just in a little picture square. It takes time to put those kinds of things together, and they're needed when you're running a business to do that for your advertising. So those, there's cost to advertising, to purchasing t-shirts or sweatshirts or the apparel that you want to wear. There's just so much more to it, that all of it learning to love all of it. I'm getting used to the whole social media aspect of things, but I know that I want to bring content to you guys, and I know that I wanted to bring knowledge to you guys and education, and I want to educate people from far away, close, wherever it is. But it takes time to do all of those things. It takes time out of your day. So what was a 20 to 30 hours of massaging week has now turned into 50 to 60 hours worth of work. And it's just something to be aware of. It's just something into the little bit of life of a massage therapist. It's not just go and massage and be done and that's all I think about for the rest of the day. And you have to be, I'm not saying you have to be the most physically active person, but definitely being physically active and watching what I eat and being aware of all of those things that also take time and prep is what allows me to perform more massages and get more clients in a week. If I wasn't that way, I've had those weeks. I know those weeks where I wasn't being active or I wasn't eating well, and it's a lot harder to do a full 30 massages in a week, plus the time and energy it takes to do everything else. So I love what I do, and I hope that everyone else loves what they do. Life's short. Find something that you love, that it's worth you doing 50 to 60-hour work weeks. If you love it, it doesn't matter, and you have fun and you enjoy it, and it's something that's constantly on your mind and it brings you excitement. If you don't love it, I suggest you get out. That's just my personal opinion on the matter. Life's too short, and you got to enjoy everything that you do. And if you were watching me fold the sheets at all, I did post a video probably last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, I don't remember, you'd have to scroll back, on how I personally like to fold my sheets and to keep your closets organized and together. And I go through so many sheets. It's so much easier just being able to pull something out knowing that both my fitted sheet and my flat sheet are right there. So definitely check out that video and like and subscribe.